It's Friday, November 22nd, and this is your Barbados Today Evening News Update. So glad you can join us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Parliament today debated the sacramental Cannabis Bill, which paves the way for the Rastafarian community to use marijuana for religious purposes. Leading off debate this morning, Attorney General Dale Marshall said the bill seeks to recognize the rights of individuals to practice their faith, even as he rubbished the idea that government was moving towards legalizing recreational use of the drug.
Represents an earnest, credible, and practical effort in allowing the Rastafarian community to have their faith capable of being expressed in the way that their God says it should be expressed. It isn't perfect, but we still have to recognize that our law exists in a society and that there are other societal interests that they have to protect. And for those individuals who say, man, AG, foolishness, you need to legalize the whole thing. No, sir. That is not what we are here for. We have said in our manifesto, referendum. But what we are here today doing is recognizing the rights of individuals to practice their faith as they see fit.
The AG also disclosed that Rastafarians will be allowed to grow their own marijuana in their place of worship, but he made it clear that the herb must not be sold under any circumstances.
So you have to screen it, and you have to face it in. Because whatever you grow there, you're responsible for, but it is only for your use in the context of your worship. So we go on to say, sir, that whatever cannabis you grow on the premises for your use in your worship, it cannot be sold. If you sell it, you commit a criminal offense. Because we're not about empowering that. We say you can have your religious experience, but you can't grow it and sell it. You can't grow it and decide, boy, we had a bumper crop this Sunday, so we can, try and make a little sign on the side, sir. No, that's not what we're into. Not what we're into. You grow it, you're responsible for it, and it is for your use as sacrament in the church. So this statute specifically prohibits any commercial utilization of the cannabis that you grow. Plain and simple.
Opposition leader Bishop Joseph Atherley, however, made it clear that he does not support the move to allow Rastafarians to grow marijuana at their places of worship.
The government is providing for a legislative framework within which, a platform upon which, cultivation of marijuana on a wide scale in Barbados will be established by law. I'm saying in the context where there's wide-scale cultivation of marijuana allowed in Barbados, I do not feel persuaded that we have to allow for private cultivation of marijuana for sacramental use.
In other news this Friday, Labour Minister Colin Jordan has intervened in an impasse at Republic Bank. Today, over 200 workers from the bank's 9 branches walked off the job to meet with their bargaining agent, the Barbados Workers Union, to discuss a number of grievances. The workers are dissatisfied with the bank's response to demands for a pay hike and conducting a job evaluation exercise. Deputy General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union, Dwayne Paul, took issue with the bank's labor practices. He says the bank has not been able to negotiate a salary increase for 2016 to 2019, and staff has not been given a job evaluation in over 15 years. In a statement, the bank said it was still in negotiations with the BWU and added that if today's action was linked to the ongoing negotiations, then it was premature and extreme. The Bert Monitoring Committee wants the government to pick up its spending on capital projects. Delivering its fourth public report on the performance of the Bert program, co-chair Edward Clark revealed that government has met all of its fiscal targets, but the committee is concerned that the lack of spending on capital projects is having a negative impact on the economy.
Government had a target for CapEx of around $87 million at September, and they spent about $36 million at September. So there's quite a gap between what was spent and what was budgeted. Capital expenditure in the right direction, I may add, will stimulate the economy. It will stimulate employment, and it will stimulate the economy in general. So we need to see the government improve on this expenditure and applying the resources in the right areas.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for Crop Over with the Rhythm Roots Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now in St. Lucia, Prime Minister Alan Chasney has announced that his government is creating a residency program to allow people to have a non-domicile tax rate. He made the announcement at the world's most high-profile conference on investment migration.
The Prime Minister explained that this means that only earnings made within St. Lucia's jurisdiction by naturalized residents from the program will be subjected to taxes.
We're creating a residency program, and that residency program will allow people to have a non-domicile tax rate. And how are we doing that? So we've been in negotiations with the Europeans, as most people in the world have been in OECD, in terms of what they call non-competitive tax initiatives. And we have introduced what's called a territorial tax structure. So several countries around the world have already adopted it. So it means any funds that you earn outside of our country are no longer taxable in my country. We're only going to tax you on what you earn in St. Lucia.
Further afield, U.S. President Donald Trump says it's unlikely he will be impeached by the House of Representatives after 2 weeks of public hearings in the impeachment inquiry. More in this report from Reuters Television.
House Democrats are moving closer to drafting articles of impeachment against the president.
That says to me this president believes he is above the law, beyond accountability. And in my view, there is nothing more dangerous than an unethical president who believes they are above the law.
With no more hearings on the schedule, Republicans say Democrats failed to make their case.
And I think the American people see through it. They see that the facts are on the president's side, and they know this process has been entirely unfair. And frankly, I don't know where it goes next. I don't know what they got planned.
On Friday, the president claimed he was pleased with how the hearings turned out.
I think we had a tremendous week with the hoax, you know, the great hoax. They call it the impeachment hoax.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said it's clear that the president compromised national security when he attempted to pressure Ukraine into launching investigations into his political rivals.
The president has used his office for his own personal gain.
And that's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.